there, and today we're going to go through a property on Debenham Road in Stretford, and it's number 34. So let's get stuck right in here and get on with it. Now, one of the special points about this is we have a really special estate agent working on this property, and they haven't allowed pictures or video of the interior. Now, if the property assesses well, subject to condition, then I will relish contacting the agent and giving them a really hard time about this, because if they want to sell the property, we need to know what it looks like. Just saying. Anyway, we can work out most of the issues based on these pictures. So let's get into it and we'll talk through it. It is a relatively not modern build, but it's 1960s, I would say.
Yeah, 60s, 70s, yeah, something like that.
Martin and I have this little game where I guess the age. Martin's already got the date because he's got a website which we use to check dates for property construction dates, and we play that game. So yes, I was right. That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the later the build, the better. So it'll probably have proper damp proofing. The bricks are better. It's amazing. Just these little things like the technology into making bricks improved massively between, say, 1900 and 1950. So anyway, this is good. It's got a concrete tile roof. That's very good. They're easy to repair. They don't go wrong. They don't look good, but they're fine. This fascia board looks fine as well. One of the issues with reading these estate agency things is you don't get to see where the problems are, the real problems. So that's why we have Vuber. But anyway, carrying on.
I just want to add, based on the feedback from the viewer, they don't see any issues, like serious issue with this property. So like damp, mold, and similar thing. So
well, as is
the roof, it looks nice. They said that the kitchen is 5 years ago made, and the bathroom as well. But for the bathroom, they said that it needs to be clean and redo. Not all, but a few points. Yeah.
Okay.
I sent the report so you can check it. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Yes. So, okay, got my thread again. And interesting, pipes going up through here. Why is that? Because the boiler is probably upstairs. That's not good. It's not terrible. It's just not clever. Putting a boiler in a bedroom, which is so it's either the boiler is either in the bedroom or it's in a storage cupboard. If storage cupboard, great. If bedroom, not great. It's also had retrofit coving, because in the 60s they tended not to use coving, but they did use plasterboard, and you can see it's plasterboard because you've got a nice long crack there, and the lines are straight, which is good. So far so good. The walls will be nice and straight. The floors are using possibly the cheapest laminate wood or quite good laminate. I'm going to err towards reasonably good laminate wood, I think. I'm not 100% sure. There is a picture of the kitchen, which we'll see. So as Martin said, it's a 5-year-old kitchen. That looks like a boiler to me.
Yeah.
So then the question is, why are the pipes going up into the floor?
And the viewer guy or girl wrote that the boiler is quite old and it needs to replacing. So that's around 2,000, 2,500.
Okay, now the other issue is they've had a flood at some point, because you can see the seams of the plasterboard here. And how do I know that's a flood? Because there's the bathroom. So the water drains through, runs along here, then you get like damage. So it's just flooding at some point. It's annoying. It needs repairing. The issue is that if the plasterboard is badly damaged, then it kind of gets loose from the ceiling, and then you have to either re-tack everything, not a big job, or redo the plasterboard, bigger job. And the yard is in reasonably good condition. That's good. The front room, we saw that earlier. Looking across, it's all looking okay. But again, it's a mystery to me why those are running up that way. Generally speaking, with central heating pipes, you run them down under the floor and around, not up the wall. So whatever that is all about, that's fair enough. We saw the kitchen. And we saw the kitchen. We know the ceiling's a bit of a, it's got a bit of a problem. Oh, let me get this right. Sorry. It's difficult to tell because of, yeah, okay, no, that's fine. There's a lean-to area for some reason. If we see these pictures going for there, is that, no, sorry, it's just perspective because it's a wide angle lens and it distorts it, makes it look like the ceiling is kind of at a slope, but it's not. And upstairs, very straightforward, very little to talk about apart from it needs a new carpet or at very least a deep clean. All the glazing looks fine, so I don't think there are any double glazing panels which have gone. And neutralize this interior, of course. Unpleasant pendant lamps. Bathroom looks relatively modern, which is good. It all looks reasonably sound. Miscolored side panel. I don't know what happened there. And third bedroom, this step is headroom for the stairs. So I'll just show you what I'm talking about. See, bedroom 3, they don't show it, but actually there's a box there because but the bedroom's big enough to take a double bed, probably this way, so sort of side on. So it's a very tight double bedroom. And moving on. Yeah, that flooring looks quite good. I just can't tell if it's well, we might find out later. All right, more pictures. Again, nice looking flooring, but I don't know what kind of flooring it is. And also, yeah, everything looks okay here. Good back roof. Building looks fine. One of the things I'm always interested in is thicker lines. So that shows that stepped cracks have been filled in or something like that. And you can see here that this has been done more recently, and you can see the mortar color is different. It's just subtle little things. We saw a property earlier where I forgot to talk about it, but I actually saw that they had mortared in a stepped crack here. It was a property that we suggested people did not buy because of issues, subsidence issues. But anyway, and there we go. All right, so fine. Let's have a look at the other pictures and see what we can work out from there. And what I can tell you off the bat, it needs a good jet wash. So this is where you run a power washer across everything, get rid of all the gunk. Look at all that tiles, bring those up, make those nice. I still can't work out. I think it's cheap laminate flooring. The reason I say that is because I can see a join there, and solid wood flooring just would have, it wouldn't be as smooth. So generally speaking, the better the flooring, not always the case. I mean, I just think it's too good to be real solid wood flooring, and anyway, it's not really worth deliberating about. It looks okay. Big crack in the concrete, not a problem, pretty standard. Quiet road. I always like to see this kind of thing and this kind of thing. This means people have a little bit of extra cash and they can buy nicer cars. That means it's a good area. Could do with a bit of a tidy up. And there's that backyard. It's been pretty abandoned. Now, I don't know what the deal is, whether it's probate or I don't know. I'm always a bit suspect with properties like this, because if it's probate, i.e. someone's died and it's been inherited, or it's been inherited and they're selling it off. Generally, sellers prefer, like 40% of the time, 34% of the time, they prefer to sell to homeowners instead of investors, because mum or dad used to live in the house and they want it to go to a loving home instead of an evil investor. And here we are here, nothing much to say. It all looks pretty straight up. I don't think there are any significant problems. The viewer feedback said something about a crack. What was that, Martin?
They
Do you
do
have
not
the
have.
text?
Yeah, I have.
If you share.
Yeah.
Or was it in their report?
Yeah, it is in the report.
Okay, I'll open that up then. Here we go.
And I want to add, this property was last sold 2017 for 20.
When?
2017 for 2026K.
Right, okay. So they talk about a crack somewhere.
I'm not sure.
You said something about a crack in a wall or something like
most paper covered are the front room has a long crack in it.
Okay. All right. Well, what they're not telling us is how wide the crack is. So if I didn't screen share. I don't really see. Let me just try something. Fine, hairline cracks, not a problem. Big cracks, subsidence cracks, walk away. Hairline cracks, no issue. All right, let's move on to the demographics and all of that lovely stuff. And we'll start with who lives around here, the kind of people. And so it's quite a low proportion private rented. That's either a good or a bad thing. Broadly, I think it's a good thing, because
it's a good.
people, if you have an area with too much private rented, like 40% private rented, it's just over rented and it's more difficult to rent out. But this is a desirable family area, quiet, desirable family area. It's got quite a lot of local authority, ex-local authority, which is probably what this is. And it has quite a lot of C2s. So, but the thing about an area like this is it's probably getting wealthier. And we have some crime around here. It's on the higher end, but this road is pretty quiet, actually. Yeah. So there's some trouble over here, but not much here. And if I open up the plot map, is this the correct map? Let's see, M32 9DG. Let's just quickly do that. I should have done this earlier. Sorry. And if I go evaluate plot map, let's have a look. And what does it tell us? What I'm interested in is the proportion of social rented to things. So at the moment it says 40%, or census said 40% about 10 years ago. And I would say, what would you say, Martin? I would say it's more like, it's probably about the same, probably 35%. So some of it's been sold off since. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So
I don't see any issue.
Yeah, it's not really an issue. It's ex-local authority, but it's the right kind of ex-local authority. It's 1960s. They're lovely houses. They're well built. They're good properties. It's a fundamentally sound area, so this is good. Let's have a look at capital growth and see what's going on with that. And this is the growth for this area. Now, usually I do a big thing about talking about how the market grows. If you're interested, have a look on the website, you'll find it. Essentially, markets work in cycles. This is 1845. This is today. Red arrow represents a peak in the market. We're in the boom phase. I know this because I look at other stuff like affordability over time. This is the 90s peak. This is the 2008 peak. This is pretty recent data showing mortgage affordability. So I expect it's going to creep up to around here, and we still got some headroom. So there's still market mania going on. And then I talk a little bit more about interest rates, which I predict will remain relatively low will creep up a bit because of rampant inflation. Okay, the capital growth around here. It was quite underbought in the last property cycle. So it wasn't especially popular in the last cycle, the last boom phase, and didn't crash very much. Well, it crashed quite a lot, but it's well above the 2008 peak. And I see this a lot where a market gets overbought in 2008 and then doesn't really achieve the highs of 2008 subsequently. So in this case, it wasn't overbought the last time, and now there's a lot of interest in this area.
Yeah.
So it's kind of rebalancing, and what that means is that they're rebalancing over a very long period of time, like 20 years or whatever. And what I see here is continued capital growth because it represents value. And at this point in the cycle, people want value. And you get value because of location, nice properties, and all of that. Over to you, Martin. So yeah. I better finish on my point. So I see this area growing probably another 20, probably another 35% to 40% not inflation adjusted. But if you adjust for inflation, I see it getting ahead of, I see properties going up by at least 15% in real terms, in real purchasing power terms over time. So anyway, over to you, Martin.
I want to add that this property is very close to Manchester.
Isn't it just?
Yeah.
What's
so
the?
It's 25 minutes advance. But
yeah,
also it's really to Trafford Park, where is all the industrial and commercial. So it's really nice location. You have really close by a train stop. You have
how many
schools,
minutes walk to the station?
It's like 10 minutes, I think. 9.
Wow. Well, and it's
8,
Google
8,
Maps, so
8.
if you walk briskly, it's 7 minutes.
Yeah, it's really nice. You have schools around. You have here and there. You have a lot of green space. So and you have also really good access to the highway. So that's also good.
Wow, great location.
Yeah, the location is really, really nice. Like the only one like issue is like you don't have the like 15 minutes walking to the supermarket, but the mall you have like.
But you got parking, you can drive. So
yeah, no, but it's 50 minutes. Sorry,
yeah.
This is a mall.
And homeowners are going to own cars in these kind of areas anyway. So yeah.
So basically, here it is. The location is really nice. The last sale was 2017. For this, the price is a freehold. This is
I'm
the
sure that's
build.
not. Is that what are they asking at the moment for this?
250.
250 for this ex-local authority.
Yeah, yes, it will be. I will show you. This is like cheap compared to others. And DPC is D, it can be C, and yeah, everything is like the roof need to be improving, and you need floor insulation, heating control you need to change, and solar water if you want to. Okay. But that's it. And for the risk, you don't have any water flooding risk come in. And
mining?
For mining, no, because you're outside from the mining zone.
All right. Really
great.
So
when you go to comparables,
yep.
As you can see, all properties are like all this area is super like. This is the newest list. It's like.
Yeah.
This is similar.
This area.
This is how,
yeah.
Yeah. So
this is interesting. So it kind of correlates with my view that last time around, it didn't really blow up as an area. It didn't go crazy. And again, I just see this again and again and again. If an area is fundamentally good, but it didn't have a massive rise in values in the last cycle, the end of the last cycle, well, then it's going to come along now because everything just ultimately rebalances itself. So yeah, I can see this. I can understand why it would be.
I don't know why they're asking so low for the price, but let me reduce the area just to see something. 53.25.
Well, they might want to have a stampede. That's why.
I guess because usually this property are around 30K at least. So I don't know. But if they're asking 250, I will not pay 300. So this is like similar type of house. I can say like.
Is it bigger?
Maybe I will check. No, looks same. Exactly same.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it is compared to this, it's similar.
So the only thing I would say is that with estate agents, so I'm just going to put this out right now. The issue, estate agents play this game where if you don't ask, they don't have to lie. They don't lie. Estate agents do not lie. But what they don't do is tell you, like, how do I put it? If there's something really drastically wrong with the property, they are bound to tell you, oh, it's a real problem. But if there's some kind of minor, if there's, I don't know, some kind of issue or other, then oftentimes they just kind of forget to mention it because who knows why. So I just think if they're not showing the interior of the property, why? It's that old story, you know, those estate agency pictures are designed to look beautiful and hide the bad stuff. And then when you look at a surveyor pictures, brings up all the nasties and you go, wow, is that really the same house? Anyway, what about the rent and the yield?
So the rent it will be around 115, 120. And I think this will be like, because they have also
this would be slightly cheaper though, wouldn't it? Like it would rent 1100, 1,100 perhaps, would it?
But this is the same type of house.
Yeah, so 1,100.
This is the same type of house. This is the same, but just asking. So I think 1150. So 1,150. So
and assume 180, I would say.
280, you mean?
280. Sorry.
The asking price is 250. So.
I've just got all my bearings wrong. So I was talking about the capital growth. Right. Okay. For some reason, I thought it was less. And because it's just typical of the kind of 160, 180,000 pound houses that we see way out in Radcliffe and Lee and so on, like ex-local authority places kind of further. And they're often this kind of money. What's the yield anyway?
If you buy it for 270, the yield will be 5.1, the borderline.
Yeah, so it needs quite a lot of work though.
And I will not pay more than 270. Because if you make it nice, because if you go to the, I will just show you something. And if you go with the, sorry, not about this. If you go with the highest, so you can see the similar properties now. I want 30 even, so, but I don't want to give like a hope that it will rent for that. So, okay. but I think it will rent now, if you make it nice, at least 120. So 120, 120, or 12. And if you go by 270 plus 10K for renovation, let's say, that's 5.15. So
yeah, it's tight though. It's fine if you're a UK buyer, but if you're foreign national, you have to be getting 5.5, 5 point. Should we do the scores on the doors?
Yeah.
Okay, and here we go. So Debenham Road condition. So it's adequate. I would give it a 3.5. There's Jamie. I'll have to get that later. Could you?
Yeah, I will.
I'll just rattle through these. Could you just message him or something and just?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just quickly do this because we're nearly there. Location.
It's nice, really, really nice. 4.5.
Area. Not the best area,
but
I would say.
It's good, but it's still good.
But to me, it's a 3.8 on area. It's 3.8, 3.9. There's a little bit of. There's a lot of social housing nearby. It's a bit social housing dense for my liking.
Crime is on the street is really low, but next is a little bit high. So, but this is more like a richer area, so it's normal to.
Yeah, demographics adequate, not exceptional. I would
But it's still
again.
good. Well, I would
Yeah, good, relatively speaking. Capital growth, I don't know. The trouble is, once you get above £250,000, you're on a higher rate of stamp duty, and therefore it's just a lot more money to pay. And this is ex-local authority for quite heavy money, albeit the location is good. The area isn't superb. The crime is reasonable. Demographics, it's a bit on the lower end of the spectrum for this kind of money. I was saying that it would go up another 40%, didn't I? I actually think once you get above 250, the capital growth tails off because of the stamp duty. And this is a typical thing. So based on my analysis of correlations and all of that. So I would say
it's still good.
It'll stay in line with inflation. It might get another 5% on top of it. It's not the best for capital growth, oddly enough. I think it's strong, but I don't think it's going to have the same growth as, say, a 2-bedroom terrace in Stockport, which needs a lot of renovation in a prime area by a park or something like that. So I'm going to give it a 3.9. I can't give it a 4.
Or 39.
Sell time, I don't know. Of course, it'll sell quick.
Yeah, 4. Yeah.
It's uncompromised. It's
price. Price, I think, is good for the 2.
Really, for
but
260.
But 250. But all around is 320, 300, 280.
Yield isn't great. Yield isn't great.
Yeah, so this is more like a residential area than for renting. So the yield is 3.3, 3.2, something like this, because it's borderline like.
So that's 3.81. That's okay. This is not an optimal buy to let. It's not optimal.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's okay.
To me, it's expensive. I would not buy this property if it was me. I think it's just a bit.
But if you can take it for 255,
maybe.
Because
exactly, you're right. So
because if you go like 1, 2, 3, if you go like 1, 2 streets around where you don't have extra show houses, the prices are really high. So it's like all the
is when you look at the census data from 2011, it says about 40% local authority. When you look at the plot maps, really very few of those houses have been sold off in the last 10 years. And also, let me just do another quick check on something. There's another metric, which is churn, and it's churning quite a lot. So we're getting 14 sales per 1,000 population. It's okay.
The market
in this little patch, I'm sorry, I'm just going to go. Sorry, I was picking the wrong. There's actually not that. Okay, so what's going on here is that Can
you share the screen?
Yes, of course. I'm very sorry. What happened was you got all this local authority all around here. It's okay, but you can see the churn was 13 sales per 1,000, 12 sales, and now we're up to 16, which is statistically significant. Quite a low COVID period churn. Oh, excuse me. Quite a low period churn. So I think there's probably quite a lot of sell-off of houses and local authority houses going on, I suspect.
Yeah, the market is hot here.
Yeah.
Selling.
I just think fundamentally, if it's a buy to let, why would you buy at this price point? It's just a lot of money. But and I think there are other. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, this is like borderline, like the price.
Very good. Well, okay. We didn't give it a great score. It was an okay score. If it's below 4, it's below. Well, if it's below 3.95, it's below average. And we've done
387.
We've done what 35, 36 of these analyses doing the scoring system now. So our averages are getting quite solid. It's okay. If you like this kind of price point, if you feel it works for you, it's going to be very crash resistant. So good people live in nice houses like this. I say good people, people who earn and will keep their jobs in a downturn. So it's relatively safe, but then in a sense, if you're sinking this much money into a property, you could easily hedge your position and buy 1.5 cheaper properties with nice tenants that would want to live there as well. So it's choices, isn't it? Okay, thank you very much.